All right, afternoon all, Chief Prepper here. So one real quick thing, then we'll move on to an update on the enclosure of the back porch. So last year, all that fucking brush, and there's some on the far side over there too. I cut off the trees because it was overhanging the solar system, and put it in a pile. Got sick, and all that fucking brown grass was 4 or 3 feet taller, and when that shit's green, you ain't pulling nothing out of it. So I had to wait till the winter time. Hired help, just pulled it out, and then when I do the update on the back porch, you'll learn some other things the hired help did. So he's coming back tomorrow, and he's gonna cut all that shit up, and that will become kindling. All right. So, if you haven't noticed, the back porch roof is on. I have some stuff I gotta do, painting. I can't do that until I get over here. So you can see right there, see that gap? That's the second gap above the door. As you go down here, it gets smaller. I gotta use some scrap siding I got, put that on there, and then it's got to be painted. Normally I would cut them boards off, but I'm gonna leave them out there because I don't know if I might use them for something like hummingbird feeders or shit. And then I got all this fucking brush over here that has also got to be cut up for kindling. You need firewood on hand if there's going to be a severe EMP or nuke threat, and like I said, you're already dead. This is new brush that's going to have to sit for a while. If you don't know, firewood is not something you don't just chop a fucking tree down and then burn it. It needs to sit for 6 months to a year. So in the future, if you're in the woods and you're trying to get firewood, there's a reason people used to call firewood deadwood. It still needs to have some weight to it, but it needs to have aged for a while. Then it won't pop as much. That pile right there is green too, so it won't get burned until this winter. So if it's seasoned, it will not go pippity pop, pippity pop, and then fucking. It also won't make as much creosote in your fireplace. So get out of that. Get out of that. Tom Grace. Come on. All right, so. Come on. K2. It has rained in the last 48 hours, and I had water down there, but it wasn't from the roof. It's from the house roof. So this has got corrugated steel on this 12-foot side, and then because I also wanted to use it as a green room or greenhouse during the winter, this section has got corrugated plastic clear, so it'll get light. And then instead of cutting everything off, there's 4 feet of overhang on the outside of this wall that is corrugated steel. So and that's my grilling area. So if I want to cook and it's raining or it's hot and I don't want the sun on my ass, then I can sit over there like I do now, but I can sit there and enjoy it. So the plan is along this wall, because there's a plug already, this countertop that's got all my tools for the current project on, those 2 things underneath it are going to come out. They're going to go along this wall, and I'm going to put a TV out here and a small stereo, so when I'm grilling I can enjoy it. And then that deep freeze will swing to the wall, and the other deep freeze I have will also swing to the wall, and then they'll be in the same spot instead of being the way they are now. This all has to be painted top and bottom, as you can see. And then once that's done, and framing it in on that end over there is done, then I can run the screening material. I gotta make some adjustments on that door over there. And then the last challenge is this shit. Framing in some kind of door, which is going to be a challenge to say the least. So that's the last thing that I'll do. So it's coming along. It's been a year in the making. Of course, I got sick last year, so I couldn't fucking do anything for a long time. There's some of the scrap I'm going to use, because these gaps, instead of using screening material, I'm going to just cover it with scrap siding. Same thing on that door over there. And then the screening material will go in the upper portion all the way around. And there's a socket right there. I can put a light bulb out here to light it up. Probably going to change that to some kind of different fixture, maybe LED lighting. So that's the update. If you're in the city, firewood will help you out for a little while, but after a while it ain't going to do you no good. And then if you got piles of fucking neighbors that ain't got no food, and they fucking hear or see you cooking and smell your food, well, it's going to give you a lot of negative attention. Godspeed, everybody. Watched some prepping shit today. Getting old, so took a fucking nap too, and then this morning I got up, and first thing I did was go pick up a new 14-foot gate for the front of the house. You know, strapped it down, drove it home, still in the trailer. Once I get that brush cut up, then that's up next on the fucking schedule. Change out the gate on the front of the property. Hire helps making lots of money. So, also went and looked at a 1983 square body Chevy half-ton C10 step side. Needs a lot of work, but trucks are tough. Body's in good shape, frame's in good shape. It's got a motor and transmission in it. It needs a drive shaft. May or may not need a 9-inch rear end, and then, you know, brakes and bearings gone through, replace the electrical, put all the shit back on the motor. It's got no carburetor, no water pump, nothing on the in front, and it needs of course a fan clutch and radiator, fan shroud, light or headlights. It needs a lot, but he only wants $1,500, and it's good rolling stock. So, and I'm a car guy. I actually like trucks, and it's a wood bed style truck, so I really fucking love that. So anyway, there are people on YouTube who tell you you can't do anything but prep. And what I will tell you is there is going to be so much fucking for you to do, and life is going to suck so bad when shit hits the fan. Do not spend all your time right now prepping. You need to live a little while you can, because while it's peaceful, you can do some things that you ain't going to be able to do during shit hits the fan. So, having said that, you do need to lean more on prepping than not, all right? So, because the more time you spend now, it's like, let's see, Magic Prepper coined the term. Everything's easy right now. Everything. It's plentiful. You might have to wait a month, but it's here, it's available. You know, so if you got money, you can buy it. You know, there's a lot of people talking about, I ain't got no money. Well, if you got money for beer and you got money for cigarettes, you got money for other shit, and you got money you can choose to spend on prepping, and shame on you if you're not, all right? Other than that, it's been a bit of a video, and I got to review it, then I'll post it. But information is knowledge and power. Live a little, prep a lot. Chief Prepper, out.